Hi, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your angel and spirit guide message reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. Now, before I dive into this reading, I want to say that during these uncertain times, these scary times, and overwhelming times, these readings are focusing on love, light, and positivity to raise up our energy vibration, to make us feel confident, capable, and assured within ourselves to move forward towards our greater truth instead of bringing down our energy vibration, making us feel small, insignificant, inadequate, and scared. All right, so with that said, let's get started. I'm going to be starting with your spirit guide animal cards. These are also going to be your totem animals for this time. If you see these animals in the wild or you see an image of these animals, this is really your angels and your spirit guides, Cancer, tapping you on the shoulder, saying, remember this message. So angel and spirit guide message for Cancer. Angel and spirit guide message for Cancer. Angel and spirit guide message for Cancer. Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. So we have here the hawk spirit, which says, let spirit be your guide, and I love that. And then you have the butterfly spirit, transformation is beautiful. So as spirit is your guide, as you are being guided by your higher self and this greater connection to your angels, to your spirit guides, to divinity, you are going to see a beautiful transformation taking place, and you're going to see a strength coming over you. Now, this doesn't mean this beautiful transformation takes place if you're, sat on your couch at home eating chips. It means you work, right? You work to move forward towards it. But it does mean that it comes. And I love that. And now let's see what your chakra cards have to say. Angel and spirit guide message for Cancer. Angel and spirit guide message for Cancer. Angel and spirit guide message for Cancer. Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. So we have your family, and we have nurturing. I love that. There's a deep connection to your roots, to what's truly important to you. You're nurturing your family ties, but you're also nurturing that sense of connection and empowerment. Yeah. There's something greater at play here, Cancer. Angel and spirit guide message for Cancer. Angel and spirit guide message for Cancer. Angel and spirit guide message for Cancer. Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. All right. At the center of everything, you have the Magician. Oh, I love that, Cancer. You are crowned by the Three of Pentacles. Then we have the Knave of Chalices. So this is the Page of Cups, which is a water sign energy, which of course is you. You're coming through very much so as a student at this time. Then we have the Knave of Wands. So there's your heart and your passion coming forward. Also fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Then we have the King of Swords, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius coming into play. Very powerful strength. And then we have the King of Pentacles. So it's your mind and your prosperity really coming together. And then we have the Queen of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You are a queen, you are empowered as you embrace the extent of your understanding, and you embrace the power of your soul, yourself, and you see that there is greatness within you. You open yourself up to being a student of what you desire. And then you have the Queen of Swords. So you have the King and the Queen of Swords, which is absolutely spectacular. And then we have the World. Oh, wow. Okay. And then we have the King of Chalices, the King of Cups, which is right here at your root with your heart and your mind coming together. And this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Now, there's a lot of people that come into play here. So it can be that there is a good group of people around you. It can be your family that is around you. It can be people who are as close as family to you. It can be people that you are working with, discovering with, moving yourself forward with. But there Fire sign energies, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Right? Air sign energies, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Earth sign energies, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And then, of course, you as a water sign energy, which is also Pisces and Scorpio. So you have everybody at this table. So it can be all these people coming forward, but it is also the power within yourself to move you towards an opening of the doors, to move you away from the fear, the doubt, the apprehension that has been holding you back. And what we have here is the hawk spirit and we have the butterfly spirit, both of whom have wings. And there is a sense here of you being crowned through your transformation. And it's looking at the dark and the light of it all. It's not saying that everything will turn out perfectly, and it's not saying that everything is going to be beautiful every moment of every day. This is guidance from your angels and your spirit guides. And how it manifests in your life is very much in your hands. So here, with the butterfly spirit, transformation is beautiful. You will feel that this transformation is beautiful, but you're also going to see things for as they truly are, or with a bit of a tinge to them, meaning that it's not always going to be roses and, the purity jewels of butterflies flying, to the flowers. It's going to be the darker side. It's going to be the fact that that butterflies are attracted to dead things, and they eat dead things. So they eat the beautiful nectar of the flowers, and they eat the carrion, and that is how they survive, and that is how they move forward. And you're going to see that with yourself, with your soul, with the power that is you. You're going to see that there is a dark and there is a light, and that there is an in-between. And as you look at the power of your strength, which can also be conceived at times as being monstrous, because, if you push a human being so far, you can become monstrous, right? But here, it is knowing that you have that power over that behavior within yourself, that you are choosing each and every day to move forward towards your strength, towards your bounty, towards becoming that piece of art that floats on the wind, becoming that butterfly. And then we have the hawk spirit, which I love that you have the hawk spirit here, which says, let spirit be your guide. Spirit needs to be forefront in your mind. During this time, your angels, your spirit guides need to be right there with you, because you're going to see that you spread your wings. You're going to see that you fly forward. You're going to see that you embrace more than you've imagined. And the thing with hawks is a red hawk is actually the call that we think that a bald eagle makes. Right? So an eagle actually makes a twittering sound. A red hawk makes that fearsome screech. And so there is a ferocity to you that you are embracing. And also, there is a sense of spirit really seeing things clearly. Right? So subconsciously, internally, you are going to be seeing things much more clearly than you may be giving yourself credit for, or that you may be believing. So with the hawk spirit, and why this is important is because the only other sight hunter as great as a human, greater than a human as a sight hunter, is a bird of prey. And so you have this sight that is moving you forward, and it's connecting you with your root chakra. It's connecting to you. It's connecting you to what is truly important. And it has your roots here. It has then your earth star chakra, which is a grounding of yourself. It is the sense of your belonging, a sense of where you walk and what you stand for. This is located 6 inches below your feet. And you have family, you have love, you have compassion coming forward. Now you might say, okay, well, that's not describing my family, but there is the family that you create within your life, but there's also the family of you, your angels, your spirit guides, divinity watching over you, that struggle, that human journey to achieve greatness, or to achieve your spectrum of greatness. It doesn't have to be that people roll out the red carpets. It is that you feel strong and powerful within your own body, within your own soul, within your own self. And as you do so, as you embrace your roots, you connect with the earth and you nurture yourself. You see yourself moving forward. And this leads you to knowing that you are the magician, Cancer. You are the person that says, as above, so below. As I believe it, so it becomes. And it's not as easy as simply changing your mind and you change your whole entire life. That's the first step in it. It's changing the narrative. But it's also taking action. It's being determined. It is, sitting there and saying, I'm going to cultivate this skill. Because the magician doesn't become the magician. The alchemist doesn't become the alchemist all at once. It happens over time and tremendous study and great intrigue. And that's what you're doing here. You are studying, you are embracing, you are learning that you have all the elements at your hands. You have, the cups, and you have the swords, and you have everything that you need, the wands, and what is it? The cups, the swords, the wands, and the pentacles. Everything that you need to move you forward. Earth, fire, wind, and water. All held together by spirit, by this higher force and this higher power. And it leads you to seeing that the world is opening. It's leading you to seeing that you might have had a very defined idea of what the world should be and what the world needs to be. And then as you are looking at things, and as you are embracing your power, and as you are pushing the limits of your soul, as you are looking into yourself and ripping things raw and saying, this is who I am. I need to accept this, warts and all. Because so often we have such a hard time because we just want to be perfect. We just want to be more. We just want to be. And as we sit there and see everything that we're supposed to be, and we look at ourselves, there's a feeling of inadequacy. There's a feeling of frustration. There's a feeling of, oh, well, now I'm supposed to want this on top of everything else. And so here, when the world opens to you, it's knowing your gifts. And you might sit there and say, well, my gifts aren't really that useful. Well, they are, because they were born and they were nurtured inside of you. I do believe that you have power. I do believe that you follow your path and your truth, right? And I do believe that it takes tremendous courage. Now, Joseph Campbell said, everybody follows, the goal is to follow your bliss. And he would tell his students that. And I think that's beautiful. I also think that can be taken out of content to be something rather naive. Just follow your bliss and everything will fall into alignment. And sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes you're left with your face, planted into the ground, worried about absolutely everything. And you're like, but I followed my bliss. I did what my heart said to do. And it doesn't mean you will not fail. It doesn't mean you will not know hardship. It means you have to have the courage to try. And yes, you have to be smart about things. You have to be able to pay your bills and take care of your responsibilities and everything like that. But by embracing bliss, embracing happiness, and saying this can be a part of my life and I want it to be, you're embracing a strength that most people are afraid of. It's like, okay, I'd rather sit in mediocrity. I'd rather sit in fear and apprehension than ever try. And what I love is that you have number 1, and then you have number 21 here. And it's like you are starting and you are seeing. The world is opening. And what that leads you to is that leads you to a connection with your angels. Now, I like the idea of angels. I think that it is just lovely to have these guardians over us, guiding us, moving us forward. And here, the angel is walking on the pentacles, on wealth, on prosperity, and cultivating and creating this wealth and prosperity with you is what your angels are doing. It's like, follow me, follow this song, follow this, emotional truth, follow this vibrational truth within your heart that's pulling you forward, and you will achieve, you will succeed. And it leads you to the Queen of Swords. Now, for you, Cancer, I love it when air sign energy comes together with you, okay? Because your heart is so strong, and air sign energy is about the mind. So it's about clear thinking, clear insight, and you have your angels leading you forward, prosperity, bounty on this earthly plane. And then you have this air sign energy. It can be a Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, good or bad, is guiding you forward towards something more. It can be somebody who absolutely irks you, and you're like, well, I'll show you. And it can be somebody who brings little pearls of wisdom into your life, and then you say, oh, wow, okay, I see that, I'm going to build off of it. It can be from reading a book, it can be from talking to a friend, it can be anybody. It can be somebody who is guided by the mind, okay, is really what I'm seeing here. And this is also you during this time. The mind is going to be very important. The way your heart correlates with your mind is going to be astoundingly important. So with the Queen of Swords, there is this sense of your mind being kind of behind the scenes when it comes to your crown. And when it comes to what you're thinking, you're not going to play that hand all at once. You're going to take things in, look, perceive, understand, really embrace it. And then you're going to be moving forward towards it. And so with the Queen of Swords, you are going to be cutting through doubts and fears. And you have this beautiful, as your angels guide you, you have this beautiful connection of the masculine and feminine. You have, the King, Queen of Swords, which always makes me so thrilled when I see it, because it's a true love connection. It's a moving forward towards your greater self connection. It's knowing your mind and what you desire. It's knowing where you stand and what you want. It is power and truth and prosperity. And that's what you're embracing. It's clear thinking. It's having problems and dramas start to shift, come to light, lead you forward. And this is really what you're embracing during this time. As you embrace your heart self, because your heart self definitely shines, you are going to find that things become more clear. It's like crystal chiming. It becomes crystal clear. And you're actually going to feel that chime within you. You're going to feel either that energy vibration, you're going to hear that call, and you're going to be moving forward towards it. And as you do so, yes, mentally you look at things and you're working things out. So you keep that behind the scenes. But at your roots, all right, and your roots here are very important to you, and you're nurturing them, you're seen. You're seen as knowing your mind, as knowing what it is that you want, knowing what it is that you strive for and you're working towards, cutting through doubts and fears, claiming where you stand and saying, this is me. And you have your mind and your heart working together. Why is that important? Well, I very much believe that we are emotional beings. We have to listen to our emotional selves. A lot of times we sit there and say, okay, well, that isn't logical. I need to kind of detach myself from things in order to move forward. And yes, sometimes we do need to detach ourselves and say, okay, I'm too emotionally attached. I need to step back. I need to give myself a time out before I can make a logical, or before I can make a decision that isn't going to add to strife, right? Because we've all made emotional decisions that just compound and compound and compound until we look at things and we're like, wow, I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was helping everyone and everything. And now I'm just drowning in this weight. And I do see you here, Cancer, cutting through that idea, okay, or that ideal of what should be, because you're putting more weight on you. And you have been putting more weight on you. It's kind of like, oh no, I can carry this load. I can carry that load. And there comes a time where you start to stumble, where things start to fall apart. And what you're looking at now is you're looking at the strength that has come through failures and falling. Because when you fall, when you fail, you're taught a astoundingly valuable lesson. It's not one that we ever want to hear. I mean, if life could only be about success and moving forward, that would be marvelous. That would be marvelous. But that's not how life is. And so here, when your mind comes in, right, and your heart comes together, you are looking at your heart and you're saying, what are my emotions about this? And you might actually be saying to yourself in the middle of a conversation, in your own head, you might be thinking, why does this emotionally impact me this way? Why do I feel frustrated here? Why do I feel overwhelmed here? Why do I feel like I'm smacking my head against a brick wall here? Why am I emotionally feeling this way? Because emotionally, you are embracing strength and power. And then intellectually, you are embracing strength and power. You want answers. And you want to move forward. And your angels and your spirit guides are moving you towards this, especially your angels. If you could start a conversation between you and your angels, which I know sounds so hippy-dippy, but I like it. I like it. I think it is lovely because it's a way that we work things out. All right? And so here, if you start either keeping a journal or just having a conversation with your angels, you can see a lot of the pain that you have inside of you coming to the surface. And a lot of the things that have held you back, you're like, no more. No more am I going to be held back. No more am I going to be overwhelmed. I am moving towards prosperity, success, bounty. Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You shine through as a king, and you have this kingly energy to you. And you're studying it, you're learning it, you're seeing how it correlates and grows from your instincts and intuition. And you're going to see that there's a prosperity to you during this time. You're going to see that you are so much stronger than you have given yourself credit for. You're seeing so much more than you had ever imagined. And it's leading you towards prosperity, bounty, success. Now, it's wealth or something you value as much as money. So it is a wealth of soul and self. It is a confidence to move you forward. It is looking at things and looking at yourself and saying, I'm not any better than anybody else, but I'm not any worse. And sometimes that's where you have to be. It's kind of like, okay, I see that we are all human beings. We all have, this infinite potential. We can all move forward in a way. And infinite potential is one thing that's a little bit weird because, there are then different socioeconomic and livelihood scenarios that hold people back or push people forward. And so here what you're looking at is you're looking at your prosperity, not comparing yourself against everybody else, because that is the first way to lose the race, right? To sit there and look at everybody else and say, wow, I'm not doing as well as this person, or I'm not doing as well as that person, or I wish I could be as talented as this person here and more like that person there. And it's really saying here, look at your strengths, Cancer. Look at your strengths, because that power moves you. That power guides you, and you become a student of your passion, of your intuition, of this earthly plane, and how to bring this prosperity into your life, because you have gifts. You have gifts, you have power, you have understanding. There's an education of self that comes forward. There can be a great kind of diving into the heartfelt matters of our world, the heart of it all, the passion of it all. What needs to be. So you might find yourself being drawn to TV shows or, YouTube shows or, books and audiobooks or whatever it is, podcasts that delve you deeper into a human connection and into a human power, because you're creating wealth and you're having this world open to you as if you are a king, because you are. And it's moving you forward. And you are coming because, Cancer, the strength about you and the power about you that gets overlooked, okay, is that you are represented by the Chariot. You're fierce, you're strong, you're powerful, you're determined, and you can be unstoppable. And it's because you embrace the extent of your heart. You embrace it fully. You embrace your emotions. And as you do so, we have here the Queen of Wands. Fire sign, there we go. Energy. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Passion. Determination. Again, behind the scenes here, as you become a student of your heart, of what you desire, and of where you stand. There's a maturity to you. Okay, there's definitely I will take on this weight, I will take on this burden, and I will move forward. But you have this innocence, this childlike innocence. And it's not naivety, it's not. It's a childlike innocence of how you can move forward. It's kind of like, yeah, I can do this. And you might sit there and not realize the scope of what you are undertaking. It's kind of like, let's say you decide, I'm always going to walk in the light of the divine, okay? Or I'm going to give myself to, the male or the female aspect of whatever religion you are a part of, or whatever spirituality you are drawn to. And it's like, okay, that sounds like a good idea. But then you get tested and you get called and you are shaped and are formed in ways that you hadn't anticipated, you hadn't expected. It's that innocence that comes from the heart, because there's a passion, there's an instinct that comes from the heart, and it drives you forward. It's your passion, your fire, and it's your emotional truth that is driving you towards something more. And you might sit there and do something seemingly as benign, as innocent, as, as I'm going to follow my angels where they lead me. And you might find out, Cancer, and you most likely will find out that you're taken on this wild and crazy ride that is spectacular, but is also more trying and more heartfelt than you had ever have imagined. And it leads you to cutting through doubts and fears. And it leads you to embracing your world. And it leads you to being a king of your existence. It leads you to understanding power. Now, this can come in little bits and little bits and little bits over years, decades. This can come all at once. And if it comes all at once, be ready. All right? Actually, it would be preferred if it came in little drips and little drabs. All right? But no, you are the magician. You can create the world that you want through hard work, dedication, discipline. Yeah. And Spirit is even saying denial. It's kind of like looking at what you truly want and knowing the diversions that waste time, that waste energy, that waste everything, right? And trying to cut those out of your life. Trying to sit there and say, not that every minute of every day has to be absolutely, positively the most productive, powerful time, but only doing things that move you towards your truth, that move you in your power, that move you towards greatness, and the greatness that you were born to walk. Your subconscious message is the 5 of chalices. You change your mind, you change your life. You change what you are looking at. And you start to see the blessings that are before you. And you're going to see that you walk in blessings instead of defeat and fear. Because changing your mind is the first step. So when I said, you can't just change things automatically before, Spirit is saying, but you can. But you can. You start by changing the way you perceive. You start by changing the way you look at things. And then you will start to see that things start to shift and change. And you're moving towards a prosperity, a power, and a blessing. 5 is a number of freedom. 5 is also a number of things being resolved. Not easily. You might not think it's easy, but easier than imagined. Your subconscious chakra message is rebirth. Again, the earth star chakra. Again, the butterfly. You are reborn. Embrace it. Embrace this rebirth and embrace this power. Because your subconscious spirit animal message is the skunk. Know your worth. Don't downplay you. Don't take away your worth, Cancer, because you'll do that really easily. You'll sit there and you'll take away your worth and you'll hold on to everything for everybody else. And you'll drown in it. You'll drown in the unlived or unrealized expectations of others, instead of thriving in the power of yourself. Know your worth and go after it. All right, Cancer. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I hope you all are staying safe. I love you all. Bye.